Yo.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back again. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about what is happening around the world. Just forgive us for being late. We were actually a bit earlier. Fortunately, things do happen. So right now, we are here and the spirit is a bit low, but let us try to do what we normally do, which is to make sure that we provide for you while we deal with what we need to deal with. Right? Greetings, Emily.
Greetings, Mr. Anonymous.
I would have asked you, how are you feeling?
I'm good. Let's move on. Let's talk about what happened. I wasn't able to keep track with SBIYA's evidence at the ad hoc committee because I was there at the Pretoria High Court listening to the Senzo Meyiwa trial, seeing if there's nothing interesting that is happening over there. And I would, in between, skip and try to listen, look at the highlights that are on social media to see what has General SBIYA said that is very interesting. And I'm seeing the comments. People have a lot to say. From denying Brown Bukhoti to then saying what? He couldn't pay for his lunch. His breakfast, sorry. Is it? Oh, Brown left him with a bill for breakfast. And he wanted General SBIYA to pay it. And General SBIYA said he refused to pay for it. So yes, there's a lot going on at our committee. And Mr. Anonymous, I heard you have prepared a little shom for us.
No, just finish with Senzo and get it over and done with. I'm not in the mood.
Oh, Bagiti, I saw you prepare though. I was really looking forward to hearing from you.
I don't think, yes, I have prepared, but I don't think I'm in a mood right now after all the things.
Maybe we should have postponed or cancelled the stream.
No, let's just continue with Senzo.
Okay. Senzo Meyiwa trial was resuming today. It was not as filled with the juice as the other Cape Town building. But yes, what should be interesting to know or to find out is that the defense actually asked the state for help, or rather finances or financing of their witnesses' travel costs as well as accommodation for when they come to testify. So it looks like they cannot do it by themselves. They need help from the state. To me, I'm really worried about the safety element of it. But court proceedings in the morning started with Nxumalo saying that they didn't have the sufficient means. And also, Advocate Mshololo concurred with him. And she said they'd be launching an application. So this application that they were launching was with regards to that, saying that they don't have their witnesses don't have the means to transport themselves and provide accommodation for themselves to go to Pretoria and testify. Many of them are scattered all over South Africa. There are witnesses apparently who are in KZN, some are in Gauteng, and others are in Mpumalanga. So others are even in the northwest when it comes to accused number 2, as Rabu Musepeli had said. Well, the judge said that they needed to make the application so that when he makes an order, the client's issue will be appearing. He needs a list of the clients that will be appearing. The state wanted to know if the defense would be using or issuing out subpoenas. So it seems like that issue of subpoenas will also come into play if the state is going to assist. So for all those witnesses, secondly, as a matter of principle, the register does not pay any traveling and subsistence expenses. Hey guys, kuna ma tongue twister these days. I don't know what's happening with my tongue. Iveli ngafuni ukuvuma nje for consultation. They said that they'll only pay for the witnesses when they travel. So there's a section 1792B that the judge, I think it was mentioned by the judge or Advocate Baloy, I don't quite recall. I think it's Advocate Baloy. The request, before it comes to court, it must be submitted to the prescribed officer. The prescribed officer can only be the register, and it appears that the request must first be made to the register and the court manager, and the register is not in possession of the assistance or to be able to assist the defense. Mr. Anonymous, what's going on?
Yeah, it is an irritating noise, but continue.
So the defense said that the matter will be, they will be able to speak about it or it be deferred to court. The judge asked, what does the legal act say? And Mr. Mnisi responded, and he said that he had not gone through it. I can't hear myself.
Continue.
He said that he had not gone through it. The judge said, how can you not? Because that's the principle out of which you must have read, which will apply to myself and yourself of the obligations of the duties. So he wanted to know, what does the Legal Aid Act say concerning this request of theirs to have the state pay for the transportation and accommodation of their witnesses. So the provision Baloy had mentioned are in conjunction with section 191 of the Criminal Procedure Act and the payment of expenses of the witnesses with provision, and he just mentioned in court that it deals with the manner of subpoenaing a witness. So 191, Nisi said that section 191 deals with the payment of expenses of the witnesses, where the defense's witnesses are also being mentioned and catered for in the specific provision. So the judge asked about accommodation, since they were only mentioning traveling expenses, and Nisi said that section 191 also dealt with that. The judge asked if they were going to that on the day and they were going to give evidence, or will they book at Sheraton Hotel for 3 months, because there are other witnesses, they've got special privileges and all of these things. Mr. Anonymous, I need you back. Come back.
Yeah, I'm back. There are a lot of things that are happening, but continue. I'm trying to figure out this thing, and my mind is already being disturbed by something. But let's go.
I don't think it's that bad. I'm not hearing it in that bad sense. Guys, is the sound okay? It's not that bad, ne? I know it's not perfect, but it's not that bad, right? It can't be that bad. Mr. Nod must come back, please.
Yeah, continue.
Yes, and Mnisi said that the section 191 also indicated that, and the judge asked if they were going, speaking of that whole situation where some witnesses would actually be booked in for a good 3 months at a very expensive high-end hotel and just sit there and wait to be called until they come to testify. So Mnisi said that will not be the case, he said that when it comes to them, they just need the accommodation to be decent, for the accommodation to be decent and to be. I'm gonna take off these headsets. I'm distracted.
Yeah.
I'm distracted because I can't hear myself.
Yeah. No, continue.
So yes. Where was I? Yeah, so we're talking about this whole accommodating of witnesses. Mnisi said that it's not specified, but common sense would dictate that it would be the most reasonable one, the most reasonable accommodation that they can give to their witnesses. I'm very worried about the element of safety. That's the part that I'm personally, in my opinion, mainly concerned about. But Mnisi said that it would not be expected of a person to be accommodated in upmarket areas as long as it's reasonable, humane, and it gives them dignity, right? Fair enough. And the judge said that they can't know when they'll call the witnesses until they are done. And he said that he's not dictating how the defense should run their case, but he said they can only tell the court when they've told the witnesses on what day they're going to come and testify. So if they're going to testify today or tomorrow, they need to arrive the day before or something like this, those kind of arrangements. And he also said that they can only be able to tell him that if they knew when they intend to call the witness. So Nisi said that they would have liked to align them in a particular sequence. But however, due to the constraints, Mr. Ramasipili and his colleagues, had actually alluded to their economic background. He said that they'd be guided by what the court decides in terms of their request and the application that they are making. So the judge asked if they are all not employed. The witnesses, are they all not having jobs? What is the situation? And Mnisi said that some are employed, although not formally employed. And the judge asked him what he meant by that, not formally employed. And Mnisi reminded him that that is the situation in South Africa. Others would be employed for maybe a week or two, and others are in the taxi industry, not as taxi owners, or drivers, but as queue marshals and stuff like that. So it's not really formal employment. It's informal employment. So it's kind of quite obvious that they are not going to be able to fund their accommodation and transportation. So it's just the situation of what happens in the country. This is what Mnisi said to the judge, and the judge said that he understood and he wanted to know which area they'll be coming from. Mnisi said that he will be calling on behalf of Mr. Mncube and Mr. SBIYA, and they're coming from various areas. Others are coming from Gauteng, others in Mpumalanga, and others will be coming from KZN. Ramasipili said that a bulk of his witnesses or their witnesses are actually common. So we'll be in a situation where one witness is common because they know maybe one or two or three of the accused and they can testify to the effect. So he says that some of the witnesses are actually common, and whoever Mr. Mnisi would call, he'll also be calling the same witnesses. Maybe they'll share maybe two, but also they are from KZN, Mpumalanga, Gauteng, and the Northwest, because Bongani Tanzi recalled that he was working in the Northwest. Numalo also said that they are interlinked. They are around Gauteng and KZN. Mshololo said that 5 witnesses will be coming from Joburg, and the 3 other witnesses will be coming from KZN. So the judge said that we all know the names of those witnesses. There's no Mr. X. Remember how Zungu came to testify? most of them found out about him on the day that he was testifying. So Nisi said that they do have Mr. X for reasons that are beyond their control, and he will choose not to divulge the names of those witnesses.
What is an issue with the judge wanting to know all these people? I don't understand. Like, financially, where does it?
I get it. They were making an application to fund, for the state to fund the witnesses. So
You know, I feel
He's
like these people are just
facilitating the
wasting
process.
time. All of them, man. I feel like they're wasting time. You know, if we come on, if we want to get it over and done with this thing, this tedious process that you keep on referring. If you wanted to protect your witnesses, you were supposed to pop out something also. These
make
people-
arrangements.
Make arrangements.
I'm kind of.
This process, this thing, it's irritating. You are a lawyer, I mean, you know people that know people. Do something. You've been representing people who have money and no money. You know who to talk to, who not to talk to. Just do something, man. For heaven's sake, just do something and just get it over and done with this whole process. And while these things are still happening, the judiciary called in question, NPA called in question, just get it over and done. Stop wasting time, for heaven's sake, man. Come on.
So you're also joining the squad that's pretty much annoyed at this stage.
Man, they've got a lot of processes that they want to go through, and they say they want to protect their own people. The same.
How can you ask the state for?
Basically, it's indirectly asking the state, because this so-called, what is it called? This
Legal aid
thingy.
board.
You can tell even the way they represent themselves there in that court, where they are actually. Stop wasting time. You've got money.
They
300
would
from
beg to differ.
350 from KZN. Is it that big of a deal?
If you're using a taxi, but what if they don't want to use taxis? They want to fly.
Man. Aye.
What if they want to fly first class,
South Africans.
business class?
This
stuff like that.
That's why I didn't watch it today.
Well, the judge asked for the registrar or the court registrar. Apparently, they are the ones who are going to be responsible for this entire process. And he asked if Mr. Baloyi had discussed this with the registrar. Baloyi said that this information was being mentioned to them for the very first time in court today.
Obvious. I mean, there's Mr. X and Mr. What. They're not going to tell you everything, Baloyi. That is pretty mumuch obvious. Who's going to tell Baloyi everything, man?
They hadn't had the opportunity to discuss it with the registrar over the legal aid board, and Mr. Baloyi said that he didn't know what was going on or what was going to happen. They were hearing all of this for the first time. The judge asked what the legal aid board said about what they were discussing, and Shololo said that they had a meeting with the representation of the legal aid board last week, and they indicated that the act is silent regarding the duty to pay the defense witnesses, and they have run out of the budget. Even if they were willing to assist right now, they ran out of the budget of the defense in securing the attendance of their witnesses. So even now, they don't know whether they'll be paid or not. They are saying, as lawyers, they don't know whether they'll be paid or not, because legal aid doesn't have money.
It is saving money, our money. For what? Why are they saving our money?
Because they're running out. There are many people who
But
are.
we've got money in South Africa. We've got money in South Africa. We can provide for anyone from any country. Why is it difficult to actually...
Oh my God, the judge said that there are people who can sell their cars, insinuating that people can sell their cars. I don't know whether he was speaking to the lawyers or what. Knowing how much they need the cars. Being a lawyer, you travel a lot. You spend many times on the road. So I don't know. Mshalala then said that is why now they are bringing this application to say that they have these problems. The legal aid had run out of funds, and the witnesses do not have the means to bring themselves to court.
These state organs, these so-called things that are supposed to help us, they are useless. They are useless. As you are listening to the evidence, that side of the ad hoc committee, so you realize that these people are just chowing our man one way or another.
yakiwa.
You know, we are text. It's not even funny. We are text. It's not fun. And then after that, there are people who are just there opening their big mouths and their big tummies that don't even digest food for God knows why you are still eating so much.
Abasuti.
I suit lezinto.
Mawusiyabheka ukuthi why.
I suit lezinto ziyaprotectana lezinto.
Sports cars.
But niyalunga South
Yachts
Africans.
and
No, it serves you
mansions
right.
with 55 rooms. Who stays in a house that has so many rooms?
Serves you right, South Africans. Serves you right.
Why do you need a house that big?
Next time when things are said about certain people, and I'll repeat this, an enemy of a person of no color in South Africa, that person is ours. I don't mean the acting. I don't mean people who act to be against them. I'm talking about the siyalunga, serves us right. Khona manje ngikade ukuvula indaba la. That's another thing that irritates the hell out of me. Our president is there looking for what? 11 billion from EU.
Yo funa ukuqeda ngathi. Yokhokhelwa ubani le 11 billion? Who's gonna pay that money? Hey, the judge asked what they meant when they said that they ran out of funds, as if this is the case for all the legal aid applications in South Africa, because every day people approach the legal aid board for funding. Are they saying that they don't have money for all that, or are they just saying it's for this case? There was a legal aid representative who was in court, and he said that they had a meeting with counsel in the matter concerning how to secure the presence of the witnesses to court. They've provided them with research relevant to bring this application before the judge. And as far as the Legal Aid Act is concerned, with the issues relating to defense witnesses are excluded, it's silent about it, and that's his submission. So he's saying the legal board, or the Legal Aid Board Act, is not saying anything about the defense's witnesses. And he said the remedy is found in the Criminal Procedure Act to the relevant section, and he referred his colleagues to that section, and he said that legal aid has not run out of money, as Mshololo had put it. There is a budget constraint, to put it appropriately. So the judge asked if the Legal Aid Board was not opposing this application, and the Legal Aid representative said no. This application is on the instructing attorneys to say, they need to secure their witnesses. The Criminal Procedure Act does give a way forward, and this is the application for that. He said he needed to put on record that this application should not impede the proceedings of the trial because witnesses have been consulted. Counsel know which witnesses to call, and on that basis, that is why they bring in that application. And he said that he could not see it any other way that counsel will bring this application before him without having consulted witnesses. The judge asked the defense counsel, and he said he got the impression that the witnesses had been consulted, and they all agreed that they did consult with the witnesses. They're just going to come and leave evidence. But he said that they needed to discuss that matter with the court manager first. That's the registrar, and before a final order is granted, because she controls the budget. And the judge said, you are also saying that the budget is constrained, and Baloyi said it's for Legal Aid South Africa. The judge said it doesn't depend on the budget, it depends on the rights that this court must accord to the accused, because if it depends on the budget, then it means that reasonable means must be made to subsidize or pay for the accused witnesses. That will also include reasonable accommodation. And Baloyi said, yes, the court manager might, for instance, say this type of accommodation that falls within this type of amount should be secured for the witnesses. And the judge said he knew because someone wanted to book him into a Sheraton for this case. And because he is stupid, but not stupid in a sense of saying he's stupid. It was just a way of him humbling himself, in my opinion, to say that, because, I'm ignorant to such. I said no, all I wanted was just a simple place. And apparently in Pretoria, there's no decent hotel, which is at the standard of Sheraton Hotel. So he decided that he will sleep at home and drive to court every morning and afternoon back home. So he asked Baloyi if he knows that regulation that if a judge acting or retired, they manage to stay 50 kilometers away from the court that they will be presiding over a particular case, the state has to pay for the judge's transport and accommodation. So the judge said to Baloyi that he will be a judge one day. And I heard Baloyi saying, I hope not. I'm like, yo. I hope not. He has no interest of being a judge. I was so shocked. I was like, maybe it's something you would have wanted. But it's like, So the judge granted the order, and there was a short adjournment because the media was asking for time to fix their equipment. I wasn't impressed with the sound though. It came back properly, and then after the long adjournment, now the sound was somehow again. How bagiti SABC come. SABC, come on. Sound is very important, guys. So advocate Charles Mnisi, after that short adjournment, first called his first witness, which is actually Mr. SBIYA himself, accused number one. And he gave him conditions at the beginning just to make him feel comfortable. But the one that I remember standing out to me was where he told him to feel free. Court is the freest place that he could ever be. Not really, but he was saying that, to assist in him becoming comfortable. He wanted him to be relaxed. So Advocate Charles Mnisi said that this is just a prelude. He did a very long prelude of narrating the events of what happened pertaining the case. He said on the 27th of October 2014, South Africa was informed of the tragic incident of the passing of Senzo Meyiwa. And he asked Mr. SBIYA if he understood. Mr. SBIYA said yes. And Mnisi said it was reported his passing was the previous day, the 26th in the evening. And then SBIYA said he can hear. And subsequent to that, a team of highly experienced investigators worked on the case, which led to the arrest of Mr. Zamoguhle Innocent Bata. 5 or 6 days after the incident. And after his arrest, the investigation proceeded. 2 or 3 weeks later, the charges were withdrawn because it was an error of mistaken identity. He said, I don't know what is happening with Mr. Mbata, but fast forward, the SAPS team of investigators decided to do further investigations. In 2019, you got detained for questioning. SBIYA said yes. After 2019, after that questioning, in 2020, you got arrested on the 30th of May by a team led by Brigadier Kininda. There were activities they conducted with you on the 31st of May and 5th of June. Subsequent to that, you ultimately got charged with killing of the deceased and appeared in court on the 27th of October 2020. Then on the 27th of November 2020, the matter was back in court. On the 5th of March 2021, the matter was postponed to High Court. And he said you appeared at the High Court before Judge Maumela. and you appeared for the first time in this court on the 18th of July 2023, where you were requested to plead to the charge the state preferred against you. Now he's mentioning the date of the 18th of July 2023 because it was de novo. It was after Maumela had left the presiding of the case, and it had to start over under Judge Ratam Khwatleng. So the first day of your appearance at Boksburg, you appeared with the co-accused, and on this day the provisional indictment were also read to you. This was the charges that were being preferred against you, and when you appeared on the 27th of October alongside the other accused, and SBIYA confirmed that yes, he did appear before the other accused, and he asked him that when he appeared alongside them, where was he seeing them for the first time? SBIYA said he knew Ntanzi, Mapisa, and Tuli, but he met Mncube for the first time on that day in court. Nisi then asked him, how do you know them? And SBIYA now explained that Ntanzi's villages and his are not far from each other. They are boys from the same, or one would say close villages, and they know each other, even though they are not familiar with each other. Mapisa is from his maternal side of the family, so when he would visit his mother's side, he would see Mapisa. And Duli is from his maternal side of the family as well, but the family is different, and from a distance, it's sort of like a distant family from his maternal family's home. SBIYA said that his mother's surname is actually Ntuli, and he explained that he was born from the surname of Ntuli, which is her mother's name, but the families are not familiar with each other. The family is distant. Nisi then said, you said your first interaction with police on this matter was 2019. And SBIYA said yes. And Nisi said to him that he wanted him to explain to this court, or to the court, meticulously and take them through this interaction with police in 2019. Now SBIYA began telling his story, I would say now for the second time, because he told some of it in the trial within a trial. So he says that in 2019, he doesn't remember the day. They were sitting in front of a shop in Tembisa under the Vosmusi section, and a taxi approached, and the sliding door was open. It was with Sandile and Mondli. So he was sitting with Sandile and Mondli. Now we've got names of these two young men that he said he was sitting with. And he said he thought that them as a group, as they were sitting and chilling together there were about 4 or 5, even though he can't remember the names of others. And he says that as they were sitting, when it was approached, this taxi, it was open, When
it approached, it was open.
Yes. And he said the route that this taxi was on, it's a normal taxi route. And he said that as they were chilling, Mpendulo taxi approached with the door wide open. What is a taxi doing arresting people? Why is he saying it's a taxi? When I was listening, I
guess it was those, they were minimus. They use taxis sometimes.
Do they use taxis?
Quantums and all that.
So he says that route is usually used by taxis going to Captain Park, and they did not pay much attention to the taxi, but the occupants who were in it wore civilian clothes. They jumped out of the vehicles and breached their firearms. So he said when he tried to run away, one of them grabbed him from the back and pressed him on the ground and cuffed him from the back. Nisi asked him how many people, and SBIYA said 2, a male and a female. When he tried to run away, the male held him from the back underneath his neck, and he placed him on the ground and handcuffed him from the back. So then he loaded him inside the kumbi, and they were traveling with him ever since. So inside the kumbi, there was an officer who was wearing police clothes. SBIYA said the taxi didn't drive towards Tembisa South. Vusmuzi, the township Vusmuzi where they arrested him at,
Section
Vusmuzi section, is close to Tembisa South, how he described it, right? And he said they did not even go towards a police station that side.
Okay.
And he saw them enter some place, an office of TRT at Tluorkop. And when they got there, they took him inside and there was a carpet. Nisi then asked him, the men who took you into the Kumbi, were there other people inside? And SBIYA said there were only 3 and there were not other people. There were no other people. So at Tluorkop, they told him to sit on the floor. He sat down.
This is the first arrest.
Yes, the 2019. Is it 2019 one? Before 2020. So he sat down and they asked him what he knew about the death of Senzo. And he said that he doesn't know anything. They said that he killed Senzo Meyiwa. And he said he replied by saying that he never killed Senzo Meyiwa. Then they said what made him move from Vosloorus, because they were asking him, why are you no longer living at Vosloorus? What made you move from there? And he said because he lost his job and went to the other side to look for more employment because there's a better way to travel and look for work. You know, there were trains that side where he was at Vusimosi section. Maybe there's a train station. So he said he could be able to use the trains. So Vosloorus did not have a train. And they then said that he's taking them for fools. At Tluorkop, he said he found other police officers, but the other police officers, it was no longer the 3 that actually apprehended him. And when they were asking him questions, the person by the name of Baloi was no longer there. He said that this Baloi is a she. She's a female. And there was also Mudau there. And Nisi then asked him, you say when they questioned you about Senzo, the female Baloi was not there. And SBIYA said, yes, she was not present. But you found other police, Nisi asked. And yes, SBIYA said they were wearing civilian clothes. And he says that he told them that he was looking for work. After he informed them, he knew nothing about the killing of Senzo. One of them took a plastic and covered his nose. They ultimately stopped and said that there were other people who would come to talk to him. SBIYA said that they were trampling on him with their feet. He could not see how many feet exactly was used to trample him because his face was covered with a plastic bag. But he could feel that they were using their feet to trample on him all over his body. The others were then stepping on him. A man placed his leg where he was handcuffed and he was stepping on him. Then one of them took a plastic and covered his nose and he could not breathe, and the others were stepping on him. Then they said other people wanted to talk to him. Nisi then asked him when they were trampling, where were they trampling? And SBIYA said they trampled him with one foot, or maybe he thinks they were using one foot, And Nisi said, so they were stamping you all over your body. SBIYA said, yes. Then they said there were people who wanted to speak with me. He said he stood up and they took him to those people. Nisi asked him, was it a different office? And SBIYA said it was a different room. When he got there were 4 people, and one of them was introduced as SBIYA, another as Lishabani, another as Makubo, and the other as Zungu. Nisi then asked, during the trial, within a trial, the state brought Constable Zungu. No, during the trial, actually, my apologies, they brought Constable Zungu, and he asked if that was the same Zungu who was there. And SBIYA said, yes, it is him. There was also a Makubo who came to testify at the trial within a trial. And while he was still being represented by Mr. Mgomezulu, SBIYA said, yes, that's the Makubo that was there. Nisi then asked, and you said there was a Mr. SBIYA was it a he or a she? And SBIYA said it was a gentleman. Mnisi said SBIYA must come and testify. In the record, there hasn't been a person by the name of SBIYA who has testified. He did that on...
Ubhizi bathi ke
Cape Town.
ubhizi le Cape Town angazi what happened mhotsi what and cat ubhizi nje impela ubhizi angazi was ring wabona cell phone calls and yeah, he's explaining himself. He has to keep you give you some of the things, but I will probably give you what is busy with. Ubhizi yena, ubhizi nje impela, ubhizi kakhulu.
He's explaining. He even came with glasses and stuff. He is explaining himself. He's speaking. I think I've never seen him speak for that long.
Ubhizi impela. Busy man, very busy.
So Lishabani, now Nisi was asking, was it a he or a she? And SBIYA said it's a male person. Nisi then said you were taken to these 4 people. What happened when you interacted with them? SBIYA said they asked as to what did he know about Senzo's death. He said he didn't know anything about the death of Senzo. They said they have information that he had a hand in the death of Senzo. And then he said he had never killed anyone. He would not have a hand in the death of anyone. They then believed him. He says they believed him because they took his fingerprints. They took him to the police station and they informed him that should they find something on his fingerprints, a match with one of the persons that they are looking for, then they will come back. Then they took him to Tembisa South Hospital and said they were charging him with illegal substance dealing. And then they took him to Tembisa police station where he spent the night until he appeared in court. While he was in the police cell, someone called his name and that person said that he must go home.
Scot-free.
So this is the charge that he ultimately got 12 years for. Remember, last year he got a sentence.
Look, that's a thing that perhaps we forget to tell you. That, you see, once your things, they don't get finished. In fact, even if they do get finished when they are hot. But there's a level of coldness that they should not reach. Because if they reach that coldness, you are going to jail. Yes, he was released, as they say.
He says they just say opened it for him and then they
came
said
these smart investigators who have ways of intelligence. And then he is serving 12 months. Is it 12 months?
12 years.
12
he
years.
got 12 years.
Oh, yeah, he got 12 years. Guess what? 12 years. That's South Africa. And when you listen, kakuhle, guess Western Cape Land. When you listen kakuhle, SBIYA, their fear is to be implicated on certain things. They fear that cases that could be made. They fear a situation where police can come and shoot them and give them guns and say...
We didn't even know that they were capable of such. We were just hearing Abu SBIYA narrating, Nabontanzi narrating, and we were like, what is going on?
So it's one thing to
and
look
now
at.
Today they are the ones fearing that police officers at 3 a.m. in their houses can do anything to them and say that they were trying to shoot at them. They are the ones now saying all
We
those
also
things.
didn't know that you can be persecuted for nothing.
We didn't.
He, in part of his opening, he narrates the story of how his career, his flamboyant career, has been. And then he goes on to say that he subsequently then arrested Mdluli. You would know Mdluli, the very famous
Richard
person.
Mdluli,
Yes.
the former head of intelligence.
And then he then started being hated among others by some of the people that he was working with. To a certain extent that there is a General Ntameza who then decided to persecute him. He was persecuted for pursuing Mdluli in his own words. When after pursuing Mdluli, then as he was hated, then he was persecuted. And the one who would last lay his hands on him in terms of persecuting, not being physical, was that Ntameza, who was part of the intelligence. He was mostly hated by the intelligence, which would subsequently make sense because Mdluli was in that side, right?
Yes, yes.
So then he was then suspended. That's what led to his suspension.
That's what led to his suspension.
Yes, it was that Ntameza general who then later.
Hayi ngathi iyashota lento kanjani manje.
Yeah, he was not persecuted directly for Mdluli, but he knew inside that he was being targeted for Mdluli.
What were the charges? What were they saying he did?
For whatever charges that he was charged for, he never explained that. But
that is important. He needs to.
But he was then suspended, then exonerated by the judges, according to him.
Wow.
Now, and that prompted the Helen Suzman to actually remove this General Ntameza. And now, behold, what is very interesting is that when I was talking to you, Mel, you told me that Paul said that he paid for Helen Suzman to reinstate Robert McBride. Yes.
There's a footage of him trending saying that.
So this Helen Suzman then is the one that removed the person who
Helen
touched.
Suzman ingena kanjani in suing
for the people. I don't know.
For the people, but for police affairs.
I agree, they don't
Police
want crime. They are allergic to crime. They say.
Didn't they say there was some kind of human rights in Tonton? What was their representation?
They represent. That's what.
Okay.
They are, yes. So then that was just this is just a story. Not to say that there was a payment of Helen Suzman to help SBIYA, but I'm just linking 1 and 2 together.
So SBIYA also mentions Helen Suzman.
SBIYA mentions also Helen Suzman.
It helped with.
That's a common factor now between what Paul said and what SBIYA says. And in fact, the payment, if it happened, as Paul says, it was with regards to the IPID member, right? So it was in the SAPS. Just funny things are happening in South Africa. And you hear people making the loudest noise. Do not be confused to think that they are for you naturally most of the time. Most of them, they are just doing what they are paid to do then. I'm just thinking out loud. You know, the people that claim to be fighting crime, it is one thing to decide to actually have Kuku just closer to crime when you are dealing with SAPS and everything. Normally, it's one. I mean, you are hearing that at some point some organization can be paid to actually pursue certain people. Whether crime was done or not, we don't know. But it then happened that person that took out general didn't live to tell the story. He was then also booted out. That's the story. Just the beginning, the nice part of life, the things that are happening around the world as you are busy sleeping. As you are busy also sleeping. As you are busy sleeping, you know why I'm so angry about everything today. I just read this thing. You know, the Team Europe announced 12 billion euros investment package for South Africa's sustainable future. Our future is so secure. Do you know what? 12 billion euros. Ne? We are so secured. Which happened on the 9th of October. I'm sure you probably did not know.
Oh, now it would explain all these distractions.
Yes, the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, I don't even know this person, together with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, unveiled a Team Europe investment with a package worth nearly 12 billion. With this package, the Team Europe is doubling down on its ambition to work with South Africa to become global leaders in just energy transition. I paid. Trump. Sustainable infrastructure, digital connectivity, and pharmaceutical value. Claim. It is commitment to building a healthier, more sustainable, prosperous, and inclusive South Africa, boosting competitiveness, creating jobs. How many times has this man, since he got into the office, has he been creating jobs? But it seems as if we're digressing further and further down the lane. The other one paid this so-called investment that come in a form of loan. I've never seen an investment that come in a form of loan. He paid them. He became an enemy for paying them. Now we have someone who's taking us back to square one. We are back to square one.
And we don't even know what that money. I can't personally, in my personal opinion, point to say, okay, this money did. What did it do? It's a lot of money. And I honestly feel sorry for the next president. I don't know who the next president is. But a high corner. The amount of debt, it's a lot. The amount of debt that has been created in the last 5 years alone. Never mind the other years. 5 years, just count 5 years.
Logically, if you don't own your own debts, then you don't own anything that you bought with that debt. Meaning you don't own the country. They are so invested in investing in our country. But we don't see anything.
No.
Anything.
I know this thing I call City, okay.
Nothing. I mean, people are traveling, people are just going to Europe, they are flying back and forth, they are quiet, things are happening, they are quiet. All they know is that they don't know anyone. Anyone that they are suspected to know, they don't know that person. That's it. It's okay. That's why I said it serves you right, South Africans.
So while we were focusing on that video, there's actually loans that are being taken.
Serves you right, South Africans.
We were distracted.
Serves you right.
We missed that whole 11 billion loan that was taken.
Well, we've got a president.
Third host is back. For those who were asking yesterday, Uboile.
And it's disturbing me while I'm angry. Disturbing me while I'm angry. I'm so angry at everything happening around me. Ngapa, it takes.
So usibia uthi wathathele namadocket. I heard him saying something about the political task team / funds being recklessly spent. It's a national task team, but
Ngiyolokhu ngishilo ngithi singalukulwa emeli as we fight as people, as we say we fight.
yeah.
But that fight shouldn't be confused as we don't get along. Some fights are there to create confusion. You cannot sing from the same hymn with your enemies. It's very rare. Very, very, very rare. You know, somewhere, somehow, with these news breakers and all that, I don't even want to call this word. There is common factor. If you sit down and narrow it down, you'll realize there's common factor. It's either they don't know whether they are playing for the same team, or they just think that we are all from Mzumbe. Which I doubt and I don't believe, because I don't even think they know Mzumbe.
They don't.
So that would then mean one thing. They know each other. They just pretend as if they don't know each other. All this bickering and fighting and name throwing, they shouldn't confuse you. They're just meant to be there so that you get confused and more and more and more and more confused. But wait and behold. Do you remember the day when we said there is something that is beating water on that AKA case?
Yes, the tension. Oh my God, I remember when we were covering it as it was Minister Begitele and General Masemula and who else? There was a third person there. They traveled.
They traveled, and we
to
said
place it on-
something's
and
not right
the
with
night.
Mukwanas.
Mkwanazi the previous day had said those people have nothing to do with the AKA case. Remember, some of them had fled
I
to
remember.
Eswatini and
I
stuff.
remember. This channel, we said it, and no one. Some of you believed us, but some of you were like, but you guys.
Siya ofrem.
I versus is Ofremba. We are forever of Ofremping.
Something was off.
But when it comes to reading someone's demeanor and actually reading the situation, we are there and just there. Maybe we deserve our own intelligence. So
there was a leaking that happened in the media. It seems like the same media.
I do not get confused by Unya Osalagolang over before. You understand? Mina. I don't confuse Unya. If at some point I was hit by a car.
Yes.
I cannot be hit by the same car at the same spot.
Not again. Not again.
No.
You refuse.
Emily, while you continue.
Okay, guys. So yes, now I'm gonna continue with this case. Mr. Anonymous will come back, and don't forget, guys. Remind me what he had said about the AKA case, because that's where we'll start.
Oh yeah, so the AKA case, SBIYA is saying he was part of the people that created that environment of arrest. She made sure she was part of the arresting team, actually, in a sense.
You know what the weird thing is? Can I remind you, Mr. Anonymous, of how I felt when I read and researched on what was happening, what had been happening with the case prior?
Mm-hmm.
Remember how I said there's a similar pattern here to what's happening with Senzo's case?
Yeah.
It has the same
feeling.
path, same. And people said, no, we shouldn't compare cases. Do you
Unyawo
remember?
lodwa olawela ngixoba ngikhohle.
It had
Never.
the same modus operandi.
Mm.
It just felt like, oh my God, this is deja vu. That's why I stayed away from it.
We
because
said it, remember?
yes, we said it on the
We
live
called it
stream,
out.
and people said we are comparing cases. No, this is a totally different situation, it's a different ball game. But I was like, okay, let's wait. Time always reveals.
Let's say the key players were
Everything.
there. The key players were there. The key players were there to actually make sure that there was an arrest. Right. That's what I had.
And they managed to make Mkwanazi look.
Incompetent.
That was not nice. That, for some of us who were watching, and you make it seem like Mkwanazi is wrong for saying that those people were not the right suspects. You have to consider that at the time these people were on the run. So for a media publication to go out there and just splash everything, the suspects have been found, arrests are going to be made, arrests have been made, only 2 have been arrested so far, 5 more. You are giving people that are on the run details. You're giving them a way to run. And now Mkwanazi comes and tries to mitigate the situation. The same night, what happens? The minister and the national commissioner go to KZN and they say these are the right suspects. After Mkwanazi has said these are not the right people, trying to cima mlilo before it goes out of control. No, they said it has to be done. You could see the pressure that they wanted to release this news to the public. People want to know what happened to AKA. People want to see justice.
Yes.
That pressure.
So, he then narrated the whole story and goes down and said, in fact, the closing of the political task team, in fact, it was at the time called political matters, political matters. That's the. So he says this was an assessment that was done by the previous minister, who then suggested 2016, who then suggested that these task teams, they must shut down. They are wasting money. There was a lot of things that he submitted.
There's a lot of task teams.
But
I
there were a lot
remember
of
similar
task team.
complaints, yes.
There were a lot of task team. But you know what is very interesting is that upon his submission that is making, that he actually followed up, because it seems as if now he was trying, in my opinion, it seems as if he was dealing with the situation of Brown Mukhotsi. Because there is Brown Mukhotsi, from what I've just said, Brown Mukhotsi and Cat, Brown Mukhotsi, do you know Brown Mukhotsi and all those things. And then he says this actually is something that was pondered on, and there was a report that was made 2016 by the minister that, and then he is the one who complained to say it is a pity that such a good suggestion that is seemingly saving money and creating efficiency among SAPS, in a sense that if you are allocated in a task team or certain task team, you leave your dockets on the table, you leave them like that, nobody touches them until you come, something like that, something to that nature. But he says that there were many, I think about 11 of this task team. Now, what is disturbing my spirit is he chose this one. I haven't heard him talking about others
teams
that he shut down. This is the only one that we are dealing with. If he comes and say, look, I was just following that mandate that was not signed, or perhaps it was signed, just that the signature of the commissioner is not visible enough. He used the white pen to sign on the white paper. I would understand if that is the case. But it seems as if, and I hope that he's going to be asked that question, as to say, but okay, we see that you were making sure that you're saving the money, you're bringing efficiency and all that. But how many of these task teams, that different task teams, how many did you shut down the same way you are dealing with the political one? Because why I would ask you that question is because there is this message that said they are going to make sure that there's a meeting between you and the minister. And then after that, 3 months or something like that down the line, then this political task team is shut down. He then goes further to talk about the funds and the wastage and all that. Now, moving away from that path that he has created in saying that he's just following up from the story that happened in 2016. Now it seems as if he's shutting this thing down because there was an issue with money and all that. That's my understanding of what you are saying, and an issue of efficiency that he wanted to create. But in all this, there is no signature of a commissioner, consistent to what the commissioner said, that I did not sign that. In fact, I told him to wait on that. In all this, there is messages that he seems to denounce now, saying that perhaps they were not downloaded properly. When he's probed that, okay, you are saying they were not downloaded properly, but there is a downloader that was used from the digital what not, I forgot the name. But he says that it is compromised because it's part of, now they are faction within the SAPS. So if now siqala ngabo njalo nakho ukuze uthi these SAPS people who download, they can be compromised, while now we are busy crying about what we have heard, the testimonies of Bolo Kuzalo Stain and whatnot. Siqala ngabo ukuthi kunama faction manje, lento ihamba ngokuthi ubani, yabo sikuzwa ngabo. We've never heard it before. Sikuzwa ngayo general, uyabona. These are things that are making us worry. Who are we, Tina? Who are they?
They're like a specks of dust in a very, very big bush. They are being trampled on by elephants.
So it is very scary, this revelation. They can play around saying that this is just someone being petty, but isn't it sure there's two? It feels like we are not protected.
There's factionalisms.
So Tina, who are not who don't have factions, where do we stand? Says into ngapha billions and billions ngapha sidliwa iDex ngapha sidliwa bafowethu South Africa kuyana nje bafowethu ngapha kuningi bafowethu okunye ngeke sikhulume ngakho ngoba sithi siyakhuluma ngakho
yay guys, we are under search. We are under search. We can't catch our breath. You understand? So hearing it's very concerning hearing police officers speak like this. You're
about
not giving confidence.
Things that can happen.
You're not
with
giving
evidence.
Confidence.
And we were told there were things that do not change, such as PDF and whatnot.
Yes, remember that, you guys, as we were unpacking the evidence there at the Senzo Meyiwa trial. We were told that PDF cannot be changed. We were told.
Yet we are still grappling with that thing of a call that comes from data.
Yes.
We don't even know where it came from.
In the media, it's a fact. And you know what the sad thing is? In the media, they don't even mention that part. That this call that is said to be connecting so and so is a call that is said to have happened in the internet or via the web.
Ngophela, he's the one who analyzes these criminal things. Bontans, these so big criminals the other day. Uphi manje kuyilapho ku ad hoc ngoba phela I'm sure he's got experience now of dealing with legalities. Uphi wakatweet uphi ningena mbona
Ubani?
Umazinyo.
I'm lost.
The one from this other channel that I cannot mention.
Okay.
I'm
listening.
Where is he analyzing the ad hoc? Is he part of the
I don't know. I don't know who.
Eh?
I don't know.
The one from this other channel that always talk opposite of what we had during the day.
Oh, you mean?
Is he analyzing the ad hoc or is waiting for a tender?
I don't know. God, he was there. He was there in court, I think. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the ad hoc one, Pell. Agree, he's a proper analyst. He
I don't
even
know.
puts opinion in these channels.
I don't know where that. I have no clue. I have no idea where he's at. I don't know. Mr. Advance, you're gonna get us in trouble.
I'm just asking. But where is he?
So what did he say? Does he know Brown Bukhoti or not? Because with Mkwanazi, he was saying
It's on the fence. It's on the fence. It's either he knows or he doesn't. It's that kind of situation. He knows him through. He's an activist, and then he had never met him.
Then he met him
in Cape Town once, and then twice when he had to call him back to come and pay for the food that he didn't want to pay for or he forgot to pay. Something to that nature. Same as Kate Matlala. Same thing.
With Kate Matlala,
same thing.
And then he says him and Kwanazi were fine. And then he starts speaking and tells us about the AKA case and whatnot. But you were not fine. Why does he keep saying before he did the press conference we were fine? We were even talking together. Even the interviews that he did to respond to what was said or alleged in the press conference. He said him and Kwanazi are fine. Or were fine. Right? Now, he's talking about the AKA case. He's talking about, a lot of things. And I'm like, but you said you and him were fine. And another thing that he said was that he, what is it? I had forgotten what he said. But I found it very interesting because he took the dockets of someone who says he was fine with his department without telling him. But they were fine.
Mm-hmm.
If you are fine with someone, you enter their territory. You take that docket.
Other people are capable of thinking that we are fine when they patronize you. That's another thing. Other people actually believe that we are fine here while they patronize you, and others can see that no, you are patronizing me. So it happens that one who's patronizing believes in his tricks that actually this one. We are fine with him.
Where did he say the instruction to disband the political killing test team came from?
He's adamant that it came from the office of the commissioner, through the commissioner. One way or another, there's some Andre something guy who's a middleman. I don't know whether they're going to call him. He comes from the office of, what do you call it?
The commissioner.
Commissioner. But there is no signature. That must be clear of Fani Masemu.
So it's no longer from the minister, it's from the national commissioner.
In a sense, but when he was shouting, he was talking about disobeying the minister. Yes, it was signed apparently June to put it into action. But now what is puzzling about this, if Masemula really told him to phase this thing out, what is puzzling, he allocates the budget 20 million budgets to the political PKT.
After it has been disbanded.
Yes, according to him. And then when he's probed about that, he then talks about then nationalizing it, making it be a national thing, which is, again, very good, but
So he's nationalizing something he wanted
to
gone.
disbanding.
This is really interesting.
He says the
I need
commissioner
to
wanted...
watch that whole thing. Oh my God, where am I going to get 6 hours? Even it's more, I think it's 8 hours or so. Oh my God, I need to watch. I'm missing... Well, continue with Senzo's case. Now Mnisi said that he wanted to clarify, right? He wanted to clarify, and he said, am I correct to understand that the day on which you were supposed to go to court, the court order came and called you out of the court cells instead of you being told to appear before court? Then you were told to go home. This is with respect to that day he was let go after they had given him a charge of illegal substance dealing and whatnot, and they told him to remain in the court cells, and then they let him go. Baloyi objected to this question and said that it's a leading question. There was no mention of a court order or the accused being taken to court. Nisi told SBIYA to feel free, and to correct him if he's wrong. And SBIYA said that when the police officer called his name and took him on a different path and informed him to go home, he did not even make a court appearance on this day. So when it came back and it was now resurrected about a year later while he was arrested for Senzo's case in 2020, I remember Mohola testifying to the effect that the investigation was not done properly or something like that. Do you remember that? And it landed on their desk as the cold case unit, and then they made the arrest.
Yeah.
So if this is what happened and he was let go, where did the black plastic bag come from?
That would probably be a second time. Remember, I think you are confused. There are 2 times. These people came twice.
Oh, then they came again the second time.
Yes.
So it means they abandoned
They came with
this
the plan
one.
now to hold the ice because they are cold case too. Because now he was dealing with the cold case tea.
So now for sure, there had to be an arrest similar to this one. It's like identical to what was happening here. Then Nisi then said that is basically how you got released after being detained and after being arrested by Baloyi Mudau. And SBIYA said yes. Nisi said that subsequent to being released in 2019, is it correct that the next incident where you were arrested and questioned, was it in relation to Senzo Meyiwa's death, or was it on the 30th of May 2020? And SBIYA said yes. Now, Nisi said you already given a version in a trial within a trial about what happened when you got arrested on the 30th of May 2020. On the 30th of May, you told this court in trial within a trial that you were in Tembisa and only thieves and robbers are accosted. Police do not accost, police approach. You were approached by the policeman while standing at a particular shop with some of your friends. Advocate Baloyi objected and said that there's no evidence that suggests that those people were his friends. And Mnisi then told SBIYA to tell the court the circumstances of his arrest on the 30th of May 2020. SBIYA now narrated that it was during the day, a Saturday, they were standing. Now, this is the time he was arrested for Senzo's case, the 30th of May, 2020.
Yeah, sorry, Emil. Just a reminder, guys, please press the like button. I see our moderators are not happy. Please press the like button.
Please press the like button, you guys. Don't forget to, give us a little bit of a support with your pressing and clicking of that thumb down below somewhere there, I think. So press the like button, you guys would really appreciate it. It was during the day, a Saturday, and he said that they were standing at a certain yard, and there was a tuck shop across the road. They were standing inside the yard, and then there were three of them having a conversation. It was in Vusmusi section in Tembisa, and he says that while they were standing there, he saw traffic officers who covered their faces with baraklavas, and they pointed at them with big firearms, rifles. You know, they were arresting them like they pulled a heist or something, or they were bank robbers. Allegedly, it's just, you know, the drama. Then they approached, and there was a lot, and they shouted at them saying, should I say the word? Guys, I don't like swearing.
Esconde.
They told him to lie down. They said, you know, FUTSEK, Lalan pants, slide down. And they said they were shocked and they laid down. And as they were laying down, one of them came and asked for their names. And he told them that he's SBIYA. They asked him where he was from, and he said he was from Mahlabatini. And they handcuffed him. And one of them pulled him with those handcuffs off the ground, and he said that he was cuffed from the back. They searched him and took his cell phone in his pockets. He actually said it was 2 cell phones, if he can remember. They instructed him to lie down. The other gentlemen were lifted from the ground, and these are the people that he was standing with, having a conversation with when the arrest was happening. And he says that he was lifted off the ground, and there was a white person who took pictures of him with a cell phone, and that person left. They took him inside a red Golf, and they asked him where he lived and with whom he lived. And he said that he didn't live far away from where they were, and he told them that he lives with his uncle who is renting. SBIYA said that he took them to show them where his uncle was staying with him, and he showed them the number of the shack, and some of them walked in while the others remained with him in the car. So those who went inside came back, and they didn't find anyone inside the house. So he said that when he got into the car, you know, they got into the car and they went to show them where he stayed with his uncle. When they arrived by the gate, the car stopped. They asked him which shack he was staying in, as there were so many. Then he said that he pointed to the number. He told them the number, and he described the door, what the outside door where he was staying looked like. Some of them walked in while he remained in the car with some of them. Those who walked in came back and said that there was nobody there. You know, and then Nisi asked him how many cars were there, and he said plus minus 7. So when they returned from inside the yard, they said that they should leave. Then they drove to a place called Letabong in Tembisa, it's a municipal area, and he said that they told him to get out of the car, and then they placed him inside a house. So Mnisi asked him to describe this house, and SBIYA said it was a municipal building referred to as Letabong, and inside the house, he said he was taken into, it was not an office space. He said they didn't go to the office space, and he said wherever they were, there were no clothes, but it looked like it was a place that was used for something. It looked like a changing room for people who work in firms. So he said he's just making an example, but there was no furniture inside that room. So on the 30th of May 2020, Mnisi asked him if he remembered what was happening throughout the world at this time, and SBIYA said yes. What was happening is that it was during the period of COVID. So Mnisi asked him, so you were put inside the house and what happened? And Mnisi asked for him to demonstrate so the court could get a picture of what actually happened. SBIYA said, I was cuffed at the back and they told me to pretend as if I was sitting on a chair, even though there was no chair. And he referred to it as istulo somoya. So he says he went low and bent his knees and back, he said, like back against the wall. I remember this is a type of punishment that some of us got in primary school and stuff when corporal punishment was still a thing. And I remember teachers say they hey, yo. So he's saying that they told him to sit like that. That is the most painful thing ever. So Mnisi then said he was instructed to squat with his back against the wall, and SBIYA said yes. And Mnisi said to basically sit in the air, and SBIYA said yes. And then what happened? Mnisi asked him now, and he said that the police asked him what he knew about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. And he said nothing. And one said that he should stop playing with them because he had a hand in it. He said they told him not to play dumb and tell them the truth. SBIYA said that he was leaning against the wall, and that's where he was kicked. He said there's a police officer who kicked him as he was sitting on that chair of the air, and he fell down after that kick. Nisi then said, this person who kicked you, is it a he or a she? And SBIYA said it was a male. SBIYA also confirmed that it was the same police officer asking him about the death of Senzo. During a trial within a trial, there were police officers who came to testify that the officer here, they are the part of the officers that testified. SBIYA said that during the time they were asking him those questions, they were wearing balaclavas and he couldn't identify them. And yeah, it's very interesting that they were wearing balaclavas. No wonder why there was a notice that was put out that task teams that are allowed to put on balaclavas should be the ones and the only ones putting on balaclavas. It seems like it's been a thing, this thing of wearing balaclavas, even though you're not specifically a task team assigned to handle specific cases. This is risky. This is not good. When a task team, arrests a person, it's usually because at all levels there has been difficulty with witnesses, not even investigators being intimidated and stuff like that. That's usually where the task teams get in. Am I wrong, Mr. Anonymous?
Yeah, you're right. Difficult situations. Let's press the like button, guys. Please.
When you investigators have been threatened, such situations, that's when task teams get involved. So to just find out that SBIYA was arrested and then he was, people had balaclavas on. Oh my God, the trauma of it all. I don't know. I just feel some type of way. Task teams are the only ones that I feel like should operate, because you don't just wake up and you are hunted by a task team. I don't think it works like that. So Advocate Nisi picked up from the events of Lethabong, where SBIYA said that he was made to squat. And Nisi then said you were instructed to squat at Lethabong. SBIYA said yes. And then you said someone kicked you and you fell. And he said yes. This exercise that you were asked to do, what did it feel like? And SBIYA said that he was shocked and scared in the manner that it was happening, or everything that was happening. He said he was an emotional mix-up and confused. He didn't understand what was happening. And Nisi then said, I mean the squatting, how did it feel? And SBIYA said that it was tough. Remember, I was handcuffed and the cuffs hurt me. I felt so much pain. After I was kicked on my leg, I fell down. Then they covered my face with plastic. Some of them were kicking me with their feet. They were exchanging it, kicking him. Nisi then asked him, who put the plastic back on your face? And SBIYA said that it was the same police officer who placed his knee on his back. And they covered his face. He said he tried to get them off. Others kicked him and they kept on asking about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. When they were done, they said that they must get back into the car and leave. In the car, he saw that they were returning to the house where he lived with his uncle. They kicked open the door and searched the house. And after they were done, they said that they must leave. One of the police officers said they cannot leave with him as wet as he was, and they asked to show them his clothes. They changed his underwear, pants, and shoes. This while his hands were cuffed. This is horrific. Nisi then asked him, did they did on their own? What was the position of their own hands? And I also saw someone commenting and holding him hostage to say that not Mkwanasi, my apologies, Mgomezulu, under cross-examination never mentioned the fact that the police officers are actually the ones who did the changing. Nothing was mentioned about how the changing happened. In fact, Mgomezulu wanted it to have as much dignity as possible. He didn't want to go into the details of who did the changing of the pants, because someone was saying that under that examination with Mgomezulu, he had said that he's the one who exchanged his own pants. I don't know. But the way he's describing with the handcuffs and stuff, I don't know. So Mnisi then said that they did on their own what was the position of their hands, and SBIYA said that they undressed him and his hands were cuffed at all times. So Mnisi said what caused this wetness, and SBIYA described that with the assault that happened to him, he ended up peeing on himself. And he said they went back to the car and he noticed that they were driving past Germiston on the N3. And when they approached the Vosloorus off-ramp, they placed him at the municipality place. SBIYA said that there were police officers who were dressed as traffic cops who usually work on the road, and others were wearing private clothes. He thinks that they were the ones investigating cases. The ones who were wearing private clothes. SBIYA said he recalls the cars that were there. It was a red Golf, a white Ranger, a Qashqai. He said it was silver grey, a Nissan double cab, and it was not marked, used by traffic cops. A Ranger of traffic cops that was marked, a Golf of traffic cops. As I think he thinks there were two Golfs that were marked. Or he said one was marked. My apologies. Mnisi then said you got into the municipality area in Vosloorus, and SBIYA said they continued to assault him there and covered his face with a plastic bag, stopping him from breathing, and others were kicking him. He described that municipality area that they went to in the inspection in Loco. He was describing how you enter these robots to the parking where they made him sit in handcuffs and asked about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. So he was just narrating everything we kind of saw with the inspection in Loco as he was describing what was happening to him. SBIYA said that he was again asked about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. The handcuffs were still on him. After they stopped assaulting him, they had a little meeting not far from where he was. As he was seated, he came to know of a certain gentleman called Mr. Gininda. After they had a meeting, Gininda came to him and Gininda asked him what he knew about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. He said, according to him, he didn't have a hand in the death. He said Gininda told him that he does have a hand in the death with his friends. And he said that he didn't know anything about the death of Senzo. This is SBIYA responding to Gininda as he made that assertion to him. And Mnisi then asked him, did he mention who your friends were? And SBIYA said he did not mention the names. He said he's had a long time working with people like me. He said, I'm way too young and I will tell the truth. Then they said we must go back into the car. Then we left and arrived at the police station in Soweto. SBIYA confirmed that there was no sunlight where he was at the time. He can tell the time, and he couldn't tell the time exactly what time it was because he didn't have a watch. Nisi referred to the inspection in Loco now, which was done. And he said that this is the place where you say you were taken to. Which place was it? And SBIYA said it's where he pointed out at the municipality officers. Nisi said that SBIYA looked sad at the inspection in loco when he was demonstrating what was happening to him. What made him look so sad and seem so sad? Baloyi objected, saying that he does not remember that being placed on record on their return from the inspection in loco. So he wanted Nisi to have placed the fact that SBIYA was sad at going through the inspection in loco. Nisi said he did mention it, and it's what he observed. He's not sure whether it was captured or not. Remember when they came back from the inspection in loco, they went back to court and they said that they were going to have a sitting at court. It was never broadcasted to the public. SBIYA said that when he saw that place again, he was emotional. His heart felt pain. He said that it felt like it was going to happen again. What happened to him on that day, the assault? Then he was asked about that gold spot, that in fact that he kept mentioning it's a gold spot, and he said it's a name that is known around that area. You know, people know it as the gold spot. He said it's a name that he knows it by. Locals refer to that area that way. Now Nisi went to Brigadier Bongani Gininda, and he said that he told this court that after he was called by a colleague where he met you in Vosloorus in front of a police station, SBIYA said that Gininda and him did not meet there. He said they met at the municipality office building before they took him to Soweto, the police station. Now, Nisi then told him that Gininda said he heard you knew something about Meyiwa's death. When he met you at the police station, he requested to see you alone. Did it happen that way? SBIYA said it never happened that way. There is nothing I said to Sergeant Mohola except to say I know nothing about Meyiwa's death. SBIYA told the court that he was taken to Diepkloof police station after the municipality officer's assault and questioning. The Diepkloof police station is where SBIYA allegedly made his confession statement. SBIYA said at no point was his rights read to him. After Mohola and Buthelezi said that they did read his rights. They even came to court. They saw some were putting their heads on chopping blocks and stuff. They were saying that they did read SBIYA his rights. SBIYA is saying they didn't do that. Okay. So Nisi then said Mr. Buthelezi testified that there were bullets found in the house where you stay. SBIYA said that no bullets were found because his uncle did not have a gun, so they didn't discover ammunition at his house. Nisi then said there was a plastic bag with bullets and they confronted you about that finding. SBIYA said Buthelezi never asked him about anything or anything about ammunition which they discovered in the house. The judge asked if he said that the evidence of Buthelezi was not relevant. Nisi said he meant it's not relevant to the case of Senzo. It's actually another case. And then SBIYA said that there was no point in time where his constitutional rights were explained to him on that day. Brigadier told this court, now Nisi tells him that you made certain admissions. And if you were prepared to make a statement, you said yes. SBIYA said that there's nothing that he admitted before Gininda or Mohola. He said he only said that he didn't know anything about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Even in this court, he maintains that he knows nothing about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Now, Nisi then said Brigadier Gininda further told this court that you had agreed to him that you were prepared to go and repeat what you had already told him at Vosloorus about your involvement in the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Then the entourage drove to their head office to a place known as Ereton, where he got into his office and started to make arrangements for an officer who will come and take down what you already told him. SBIYA said that when they left Vosloorus, there is nowhere else where they passed by, stopped at, except for when they passed by the police station. There is no other place that he says they passed at. And when they left Vosloorus, the cars only stopped at the police station. That was the next stop. They didn't stop anywhere else. Mnisi then repeated Gininda's version to SBIYA, where he said that he made arrangements with other gentlemen to drive from Germiston. He never accompanied SBIYA to Diepkloof. He remained at Eratin. This is Brigadier Gininda's version. And SBIYA still insisted that Gininda was at Diepkloof. He denied that Gininda ever read him his rights. So there's a courtyard that he speaks of at that police station. Apparently the roof is like open. It didn't have like a roof, it's like a mesh thing at the top. And he's saying that at that police station there is something like that, and that is where SBIYA says he was taken for questioning. Gininda kept asking him what he knew about Senzo's case, and he said that he didn't even know anything, begging him to believe him. He had nothing to do with Senzo's death. Then he said that it means that he didn't want to work with him. That's what Gininda told him. He didn't want to work with him. He said he'd leave and talk to Mushala, and he can remain and beat him up. Indeed, he walked out, and the police officers proceeded to assault him after he left. Nisi asked him to describe how he was beaten up, and SBIYA said that they made him lay on the ground and did all of those things that they were doing. So after Brigadier Gininda left, they told him to sit down and covered his face with a plastic bag over his face. He was still cuffed when they were doing this to him. And since he was arrested, they had never said left his hands free without any handcuffs. That's what he's saying. He said they kept them on him, all this time since they arrested him. They kept kicking him until Gininda came back. He said when he came back with a gentleman he didn't know at the time, the police were wearing safety boots, others were wearing private clothing, others were wearing tekkies, while they were busy kicking him. So before he could disclose this name, Advocate Nisi then said that, it was 25 past, maybe it's time for an adjournment, and he could see that his witness was getting tired. So tomorrow, it's a continuation, or today.
Should do Zalapi.
Yeah, today it's a continuation.
It's bonga kakhulu bafowethu. I know you would have liked to call, but if we allow you to call tomorrow, we won't do today. Actually, Lindy, thank you. Charlie Darwin, thank you. Sekhamitsi, Charlie Darwin, thank you. Sekhamitsi, thank you. Samgelo Mhlong, thank you. Siba Ignatia, Anglnes, Pinky, Nziba, Siba, Phumizwane, Hlehla, Mnguni. Maletsana Ngala Furufero Fedzisani siyabonga kakhulu Muzwakhe Radeb siyabonga Ngomane 83 siyabonga Everboat thank you Ngoni Vere thank you Daniel Elephant thank you Sylvia Shabalala thank you Tembelani Kanye thank you BB Arm thank you, moderator. Thank you. Brenda Ngema. Thank you, Mpo. Thank you. Sbongiseni Masilela. Thank you, Vusi Mabena. Thank you, Mthozi Langa. Siyabonga. Thank you, Brown Trowell. Thank you, Bonganla K. Thank you, Mrs. K. Thank you. Refile Smango. Thank you. Tapiwa Chandelin. Thank you, Siyabonga Pedro. Thank you, Kuku Mbonambi. Thank you, Malachi Johannes. Thank you, Mbuso Zibulo. Siyabonga. Sizwe 18. Thank you very much. Zoto Lamini. Siyabonga. Laura, our member. Thank you, Mlambo Designs. Thank you. Sibonga nje bafowethu inonke, even if I don't mention you, wazi ukuthi you're there. Press the like button. While we do this, because I mentioned you. Farai, thank you. Bonito, thank you. Yabona emelike manje isikhathi sokuthi
Anisangitshela Even the specs were here.
Ziyabuya. Zibuya ngamanda.
I need to watch that. I don't think I'm
Msongela
gonna sleep.
Ndlovu. Thank you Msongela. Yeah, I've made it book. Sibonga kakhulu guys. Please press the like button on your way out. Siyabonga until today.